Facebook. How are you? It's so nice to see you. I am really happy to be here. Can you believe this hair? This hair is like beyond kicking amazing, isn't it? I'm so happy about my hair today. I was like, so good. Anyway, hi. I am coming to you from the lovely and fabulous Laguna Beach, California, where we are happily ensconced in my mother's house, my mom and dad's house. And I'm really excited because it's a really lovely place to be, and I'm really happy to be here. And I was going to have the curtains open so you could see the ocean because the ocean's right there. But it's blinding, and I thought you guys didn't really want to look at the blinding sunlight coming through the window, so I closed them. But over this shoulder, you can see this lovely portrait of me and my mother and my sister the year after my dad died. And that portrait is called The Three Wonderful Women. And I just really love that it's sitting over my shoulder today because it reminds me of that awesome moment. So, which was not so awesome in some ways, but I like how it captured me and my mom and my sister. So it always makes me smile to see it. Anyway, super happy for y'all to be here today. It is the last Fuck Shit Up Friday in the year of 2017. And I have been racking my brain trying to figure out what to talk to y'all about. And I had lots of moments over the last week to really sit and marinate in what I wanted to talk about. One of them was that I was listening to this kick-ass podcast on Pantsuit Politics on the 18th of December. And they were talking about how people are really getting caught up in people getting really angry when they are expressing their feelings and expressing what's going on and expressing how they feel about patriarchy and racism and homophobia and transphobia, and people are really struggling right now. And they talked about how men in particular are becoming really intimidated at this idea that we are speaking out and speaking out bigger than we ever have before. And one of the ways they said that it is really great to have the conversation is to start it with saying, I am sharing my experience and how it makes me feel. And that really resonated with me. And I don't know if you've ever listened to Pantsuit Politics. It's a great podcast. I totally recommend it if you have not. But anyway, it's a lovely podcast. And they talk a lot about, they've talked in that podcast on the 18th in particular about talking about how they have found that when they say, I'm sharing my experience and how it makes me feel, it has made people understand their differences of opinion because they're two podcasters that one's conservative, one's liberal. And anyway, I just liked how that was. And so that really resonated with me. And I thought, wouldn't that just really fuck some shit up if instead of like freaking out on people, we actually sat back and went, I'm sharing my experience and how it makes me feel. And then I realized that that's what I've been doing for the last couple months. So I'm sort of excited about that because it makes me feel sort of in tune with the universe. And then so my husband and I, Jim and I drove down from Oregon to California because our kids are on their visitation with their biological mother. And we're driving down and we decided to download a book, and Jim found the $4.99 mystery book on audiobooks. And it hasn't been so bad. But one of the things that, one of the lines in the book, this woman, I mean, it's dragging a bit. It's really way too long, but it's dragging a bit. But one of the things the woman says in the book is she was talking about her bedroom and she was talking about her house. And she was talking about how it's the place where passion is screaming organization and no one is making the bed. And so that really resonated with me because I was like, I just really love that her space is the place where passion is screaming organization and no one's making the bed. Like, I really like that line. And then I was thinking about how in my brain, I'm always screaming about passion and like tapping into your passion and fanning your flames and doing all this kick-ass shit. And, but no one's really like, everything is sort of scattered and chaotic. No one's making the bed in my head. And I'm always screaming all of these things to myself in my head about all of the things I want to do. And then I get like really tied down in sort of this old patriarchal bullshit tape in my head that says that I should be doing all these things. Like all the people who are writing letters to 2018 so they can manifest the shit out of all their big wild dreams. I've been sitting down trying to write that letter to myself for like, I don't know, 3 weeks or so. And I'm like, I just don't have it in me. And then I was thinking, well, I should be setting all my goals for 2018 and setting all these masterful, magical goals for 2018 because that's how I'm going to manifest all the magic. And then I was like, goals, bleh. And so I'm sitting here thinking, when she said this line in this book, which is a fiction novel, but that my head is the place where the passion happens and my heart, and it's screaming, get organized, get organized. And then I'm thinking, passion doesn't want to be organized. Passion wants to just go. And so how do I figure out how to balance that passion and that drive and that excitement and the need for change with, with the fact that it needs to be somewhat organized. And so anyway, I've been kind of thinking about all that stuff. And then I was really thinking about, I was going to come on this Facebook Live today and talk about how military retirement is about to get a lot more complex because of the tax bill. And my husband is a veteran. And so I, of course, was going to come on and talk about how under the new plan, the new tax bill, they're totally messing with the military's retirement plan. And if any of you have ever known anyone in the military, you know that the retirement plan is kind of a big deal. And so I'm just going to bring it to your attention because I don't really want to harp on that today because I'm feeling really excited and happy right now. But I find it horrifying that if you stay in the military for 20 or more years, you'll get a 20% cut in your pension payouts. Although the difference should be offset in part by the contributions in the new 401k style component of the tax bill. So if you know anyone who's been in the military for a long time and they're waiting for that 20 years, you ought to warn them that some things are going on in the tax bill that's going to completely undermine their ability to retire. Joy. And then, so this is what's happening, right? Nobody's making the bed. This is the disorganized passion of Dr. Melissa Bird, PhD. So, and then I was thinking, well, I really should talk about this. And it didn't print well, of course, but Vanity Fair faces backlash for suggesting Hillary Clinton linked to it. Now, I don't know how many of you know very well that I cross-stitch like no other. So I was sitting there thinking about how I know Vanity Fair says they were trying to be sarcastic, and that's delightful. But really, I really need to point this out. I don't know if anybody noticed that last year what happened when we knit is we knitted like a bazillion pussy hats and then put them all on our heads and marched through the streets all over the world. So while you can say that Miss Hillary Clinton ought to go knit, just remember what happens when we get to stitching. Because people, we get to bitching. And then we get to getting. And so if you think that Miss Hillary Clinton sitting down and knitting is going to cause a problem for people, you are dead wrong. Because all of us that are stitching, I'm working on this piece right here, super Americana, super magical cross stitch right there. If you think for 1 minute that Hillary Clinton knitting is going to shut her up, what you need to understand about knitting and stitching is the act of doing that puts our minds in this place where the bed is getting made and the passion percolates and we're knitting and we're stitching and we're thinking. And the whole time we're doing that, we're coming up with plans and devising organization. And so if you think for 1 minute that Hillary Clinton sitting down and knitting or all the rest of us sitting down and knitting is going to stop us from our goddamn revolution, you are dead wrong. It doesn't work that way. And the last thing I really want to talk about is this beautiful card I got from my friend Marcy. Marcy sent me one of the greatest cards I've ever received in my life. It says, deck the halls and smash the patriarchy. Yeah, that's what it says. That is kick-ass and amazing right there. Deck the halls, smash the patriarchy. So then I was thinking, like, the last thing I really want to talk about in my last Fuck Shit Up Friday is how am I going to fuck shit up today on Friday? So one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm really going to stop with the shitty list of shoulds. So all these emails I'm getting inundated with that are like, look over your past year and set your, I don't do resolutions, but I do resolutions, but I don't do resolutions, but I'm not doing resolutions. All the ones that are like, write a letter to yourself in 2018 and talk about all the millions and billions and trillions of things that you've done and how awesome you are, because that just feels super overwhelming. And I'm just going to set aside all the shisa and all the crap and all the things. And I'm going to remember that patriarchy manifests itself as a shitty list of shoulds in my head. And furthermore, I'm going to fuck shit up by remembering that patriarchy manifests itself in uncertainty within me. It manifests itself in a way that when I speak my truth, I get really, really nervous and I start to feel like I'm choking. And I start to remember that the patriarchy is telling me to be quiet. And the patriarchy is telling me to stop taking up space. And I'm going to remember today on Fuck Shit Up Friday that the way I'm going to fuck shit up is to not be quiet. And I'm going to think and I'm going to percolate. I'm going to tap into my passion and I'm going to kick some ass in 2018. Because here's the thing that I don't like about patriarchy. I don't like that it says to demur. I don't like that it says to be quiet. I don't like it says, hush, don't yell, smile, don't question, everything's fine. What I like is that the matriarchy is telling me to do fanning the flames trainings all over the country. And it's telling me to use my voice to speak out at a rally coming up on January 20th in my town of Corvallis, Oregon. And it's telling me to tell people more about this marginalized no more training that I have online, because if you are a homebody and you don't like to be around people, you can still engage in the resistance without having to go out and run for office or march in a protest or do those things. There's so many different ways to resist and persist and insist. And I love that the matriarchy is telling me to be louder, 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 and stop questioning my voice. And so today, in order to fuck shit up my Friday, I'm going to really, really, really get deep upon my passion and stop being afraid to use my voice. And I hope that you, in this beautiful Friday, can figure out how to tap in deep to that, what you're hearing, and what things are telling you, and what the patriarchy has told you. And maybe you can write about what the patriarchy has told you and how the matriarchy is helping you overcome that. But get deep into yourself and fuck shit up. Fuck up the patriarchy by looking at how it manifests in you. This is how it manifests in me. How does it manifest in you? It's Friday, so go fuck shit up, y'all. Enjoy your New Year's. Be very safe. Remember, Lyft and Uber exist for a reason. Actually, Lyft, not Uber. Lyft exists for a reason. Use it. Stay home. Be with your friends. Be in love. And I will see you for a special New Year's edition of Monday Mayhem on the 1st. Love you all. Bye.